Welcome to Rough Realities and Revelation.
Hello, we're back. We're back.
We're back after we did a fake back.
Yeah.
Really. We're like, yay, season 2.
Yeah, we're like Netflix. You have to wait for like 3 months for the next episode.
So sorry, people. So sorry. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm all right, eh? Enjoying the sunshine. It's the start of the agility season now.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been going away to agility shows, which has been lovely.
Yeah. Well, it's the start of the hay fever season now. So if I snuffle all the way through that,
then
that's why.
we'll be fine.
Aye.
It's not because you're like upset with him.
No, I'm not.
And you've not got germs.
Crying on the podcast.
No. Could you imagine?
I know.
Oh my goodness. So what's been up in your world?
Oh, well, we got through Blue's insurance policy, you got like a free hamper thing.
Oh,
and it was really cool. It was full of like toys and treats and stuff like that. He doesn't really play with toys.
No, he
much,
doesn't.
But
it's sad.
there was a ball in it, like a really small ball. So you had to tell them, like, you know, size of your dog and what they like to do in that.
Oh, yeah.
Were they a big chewer and stuff like that? Anyway, they'd sent this little ball and he was just like, oh my God, it's a ball. I love balls.
Wow.
But obviously, you know, I don't want to be chucking a ball. You know, we've spoke before about ball chucking.
Yeah.
I think we've done a whole podcast on ball chucking.
Did.
But let him have the ball, like, by himself. And he loved it. He was throwing the ball and chasing the ball and just having a really nice time with it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So, like, I've been trying to, like, play with him.
Yeah.
Like, a bit more. But it just got me thinking, like, how important is it to actually, like, play with our dogs? Because if I hadn't seen him with that ball, I probably wouldn't have bothered, like, trying.
I know. I think this is a funny thing. Like, I always feel I have an uphill battle with students at my class to use toys more as a reward and a way to motivate the dogs that is they will find more reinforcing and fulfilling than just eating a treat.
Yeah.
And I do find that people just tend to be like, I don't want to play. And I'm like, do you not know how important play is?
Yeah. I mean, maybe they don't know what play is. So when we talk about, like, playing with our dog, like, what are we actually meaning? Like, what is playing with your dog?
So I think play allows the dog to be a dog. Like, as in allows the dog to exhibit natural species appropriate play styles, as in they can do all the play bowing, but they can do the grabbing, they can do the tugging, they can chase toys, so they've got that outlet. And you can't, well, you can let your dog do that to you, but it usually ends up getting hurt, as in, you know, the human, we can't really do that kind of thing with our dogs without us getting hurt, because our skin's pretty flimsy. So even if your dog's not meaning it, they'll scratch you, a tooth will catch you, all the rest of it. So when we have a toy and then we're playing with the dog, I think that almost builds a bridge of the dog can be a dog and do dog things, but the human is what's the word? Starting it. I mean, I was looking for a fancier word than that.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
But just being involved and participating in it. Yeah.
Initiating. There we go. No, got there. So, like, because we're initiating it, and depending how, so when I think of playing with dogs, I often, my brain's going to, I play tug, I play with the toy. So the toy becomes an extension of me.
Yeah.
And then the dogs are able to interact in a much more natural way for them. So the bond with me becomes even stronger, because they're like, oh my God, you're kind of like one of us. This is so cool. Whereas what you're describing with Blue, beautiful to see. Like, I love it when dogs are like, oh, I'm just going to go off and play. But I call that independent play, which nothing wrong with, absolutely nothing wrong with. But that's the dog having fun on their own without you. Like, you might facilitate it in that you gave them the toy, but if your dog never wants to include you in that, then I always think that sort of means that the dog's not that fussed for you.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Or actually, I tell a lie. because that might make some people feel a bit sad.
Mhm.
When I'm like, oh, the dog's not fussed for you.
Yeah.
But the dog's history is such that you don't play, so you're not part of that experience for them.
Yeah. And I think in the moment as well, it's just that they're more fussed for the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like how on a walk, sometimes they're more fussed for the, you know, bird that they want
Yeah,
to chase than they
yeah,
are,
totally.
like,
You're
you.
right.
Does it mean?
Yeah, because I think that for me, there's like, when we're thinking about using toys and play with dogs, we're going to think about, so there's the tight set, so there's what I would call the independent play, so where the dog takes a toy off, or the dog finds something in the environment and is just playing with it, like a leaf, or
Yeah.
you know, I was going to say stick because I know that happens, but please, people.
Oh, everybody would email in if you said stick.
Exactly, yeah. I don't actively encourage your dog to play with sticks. That's just stupid. But some dogs will pick up a stick and like throw it around and all that kind of jazz. But then you've got a much more interactive play with us. So that tends to be, I find people tend to do them at set times almost. So it becomes part of your daily routine almost, in that a lot of people will, or this is the feedback I get from my students anyway, what they'll tend to do is it might be after a particular walk of the day. So it might be maybe your lunchtime walk.
Yeah.
So you're working from home, you take the dog a quick walk, you come back and you'll play in the garden with a toy. So it might be a version of fetch, because sometimes fetch is, the dogs don't always fetch it back. The humans will kick it, throw it, the dog pounces on it, parades it, drops it, the human goes and picks it up and then starts it again. Or it could be a version of playing tug, or it could be a version of, oh, go find your toy, like people hide the toys and the dog's got to go find it. But it happens at set times of the day. So the dog's kind of aware, oh, when this person's around and we're in this location, we'll play. So you've got just like play in general, but then you've got like interactive play that's where we start using the toys as a reward for training.
Right.
So it's used with a bit more intention.
It's not always just for the fun of it.
No, sometimes there's like like I like to, and I don't know if this is just with doing sports with dogs. I find people that do sports with dogs, whether it is agility, whether it's like scent work stuff, and things like that, we tend to see the value in using toys to reward a behaviour, and give the dog more of an outlet than just eating a treat. So I will often, if I'm, training my dogs, I will always have my toy with me, so that when they do what I've asked, or when we're practicing something, then the toy will come out, we'll have a game of tug. Yes, maybe they'll chase it, and things like that. And I find that because dogs make associations with everything, if you don't present toys in that manner, if you ask your dog to do something and you present the toy and you're like, come on, let's have a game, your dog will look at you like, the toy's coming out now.
Yeah.
Oh no, we don't play with it right now. This means I get a snack, so where's my snack? Which, it's not the end of the world, but I think people are missing a trick if they don't incorporate toys into the training side of things.
Yeah. I think though it's just a bit of extra work, isn't it? From our point of view. So what would be like the benefit for us of like putting in that extra work and playing with our dog?
So I think, so the dogs get out of it more natural behaviours and they get to be more dog, right? And they're like, oh my God, I love this.
Yeah.
Strengthens the bond with you. What we should be getting out of it is it's almost a more intimate way of getting to know your dog playing, because you get to start to be more observant about what floats your dog's boat. How do they like to be played with? So like out of my variety of dogs, they actually all have very different play styles. And some, like Eric, he loves to just like proper terrier. I just want to grab it, drag it, then I want to start ripping it apart and stuff like that. And he's very physical with it all. He loves it. George is the same. George will go up to Heido with that. Whereas Cash, being the good sprocker that he is, he wants to carry it. You know, he's just like, I just want to hold it. I'm not as fussed for tugging, but I want to hold it with you, do the little dance with you, and then I want to go find it.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I think it builds your observational skills. It brings a different level of bonding to you. But also, I think from a, putting my dog trainer's hat on, the amount of students that I have that always get conflicted about how many treats I give my dog for doing a good job. You know, they get worried that, oh my God, they'll get fat. Oh my God, I don't want to give you food. Ken what? There's your answer.
Yeah.
You're still rewarding and reinforcing behaviours. Your dog's not getting fat. You're not feeling like you're bribing your dog.
Yeah.
And as well, long term, like if your dog did go on and develop like food allergies and you're working your way through finding what your dog can eat, what they can't eat, you've got another reward system there for your dog. So
yeah, because that hydrolyzed kibble, that's no kind of reward for it.
It's not really. I mean, I know that dogs have to have it, like in everything, but it's
so
not
I was
motivator.
Just thinking when you were speaking there, like how much is still around of that old kind of idea that, well, you can't let them win.
Oh,
like, is that still a thing?
Sadly, it makes me really sad because I think
you've got to be stronger than your dog.
I know,
you've got to win the toy and parade around with the toy and stuff. And I know that back in the day that was...
Oh, totally. That was the thing. That's what we all thought. But it's nonsense because if you think about it, and I was going to say this is why some dogs aren't interested in toys with people because of their learned history. So the way Blue reacted to that ball tells me he had access to balls.
Yeah.
He's not had access to the other types of toys that you've got for him because he's not got that same connection. Whereas as soon as he saw that ball, he was like, I'm having that.
Yeah. And it's every time as well. Like, and I only let him have it for like a minute or two.
Yeah.
Every few days. Because I think he could easily get quite obsessed with it. But it's like every time he behaves the same.
They're like, wow. So there are like associations made. So for some people, if you have rehomed a dog or like adopted a dog or whatever, if that dog hasn't been exposed to playing with toys, it can feel like an uphill battle. And you're sort of left going, well, why am I keep trying this? But actually, I think once you unlock that in a dog, it's very fulfilling and stuff. But I think also the problem is in the back of people's heads is there is still that old mindset of, well, if you let them win, i.e. take the toy, trophy the toy, run around with it, the dog's going to think that they are just like cock of the walk and Billy Big Balls about it.
Yeah.
But when you break it down, would you continue playing a game with somebody that constantly won?
Aye, well, that's why I don't play Monopoly with my sister anymore. Because she just turns into like this raging capitalist that has to own the whole of London.
Well, yeah, because
I'm just like this little homeless person in the corner, like with no hotels or anything. She's stacking the cash, like she's ruthless.
Well, this is it, because like I did the same to my nephew, and he was like much, much younger, and I'm not proud of myself because he was a child, but he kept winning at board games with me, when we played board games. And I just couldn't stand the fact that I constantly lost. Like, I'm okay about losing.
Yeah.
But winning the occasional one would have kept my incentive to play.
I'd just rather not play.
Exactly. I'm not going to play. So I don't see the point in thinking when you're playing with the dog, it's about physically overpowering the dog and making sure the dog understands you're better than them.
Yeah.
Because who's going to play with you? Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. Whereas to me, playing with your dog, so playing tug and stuff like that, it's a dance. You're doing it together. You should be enjoying it together. So quite often at classes, like I explain, when we're playing with toys, we should be matching their tug strength. We should be matching how the dog wants to play. So, excuse me, the energy and the way I would play with Eric and George is completely different than how I play with Cash. Cash would let go of the toy and be like, no, you're too much of a psycho.
Yeah.
I'm not playing with you. That's too rough, thank you. You wouldn't like that. Whereas,
yeah, cousin Leo used to be like that. He was like, we'll just hold it gently.
Yeah, just gently. Take over. Just hold it.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all we do. Just hold.
Yeah.
And that. But you know what? That's fine if that's all. That's what your dog's comfortable with. And
yeah.
To a certain degree, you've got to think about breed as well. But you have. I find that if you make, I'm saying the word effort, it shouldn't be an effort though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry if you.
I know, but it is. It is.
Aye. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like you've got to find the time and get down on the floor, and it's an effort.
Well, this is where the choice of toy comes in there. Because the other reason I see students at class where their dogs are like, nah, I'm not interested, it's the wrong type of toy.
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you that, like, what type of toys should we actually, before we go on to what type of toys, because I thought of a wee tangent there, like, so sometimes because Blue does like a little bit of tuggy with his lamb chop toy, but he's really vocal, and his play growl and his I'm going to bite you growl are very similar.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's potentially putting people off, like their dog is a bit vocal, and are they thinking, oh, this is not good for my dog because they're vocalising and not understanding that actually they vocalise when they're happy and enjoying themselves as well.
Yes, no, you're completely right. It's scary. It's because you don't, especially if you've not had a dog before.
Yeah, and if you've got kids as well, and the dog's growling, like.
And I think it's important to educate yourself the difference between those playful, as I refer to as Scooby-Doo growls. It's, it's when they are having fun and the dog's happy and it's just their arousal's building. That's what's going on there. And they're getting excited and everything. That growl will be quite different from the, I mean it now, stop pushing me or I am going to bite you.
Yeah.
I think, yes, Blue sounds very similar, but his lines have been blurred because nobody's listened to him.
Yeah.
So,
but certainly, like with cousin Leo, like, he had a play growl, but then if he meant business, it was really high pitched.
Yeah.
And that's how me and the other dogs knew that the other dogs were pushing their luck when he got really squeaky almost.
Exactly.
Okay, and I think means business.
And then, like, this is what I mean by it's the benefits for us is it actually starts to allow us to get to know our dog.
Yeah.
And to see what floats their boat. Because I think you're right, you have to watch the dog's arousal level. And this is another benefit of when we use toys on a much more regular basis. Not, forget it from a training aspect, but even if you make a point during the day or night to play with your dog and actually use toys and whatever, you're helping the dog manage their own arousal levels too.
Yeah.
So they get used to getting that little bit giddy and then having to bring themselves down.
Yeah.
And calm down and then get a little bit giddy and then bring themselves down. So it is really, really good for helping the dogs understand how to regulate themselves. But unless you let them or give them opportunities to do that kind of thing, your dog's not going to learn that skill. And often that is what happens. The dog starts to growl a little bit more. They get vocal. They're getting excited. The game, I mean, especially when Eric was younger, honestly, as a puppy, I could literally only play with him for like 5 seconds.
Right. So on that then, before we go back to types of toys, like who should start the play? Does that matter? Who should end the play? Does that matter? And how long should we play for? Or how do we know when we should be stopping the play?
There's no black and white answers to that. Any of those questions. I'm so sorry. I shall try and break it down. Starting and ending games, I think, to me, it's a conversation. So it's absolutely fine for you to initiate a game with your dog.
Right.
Equally, it's absolutely fine for your dog to initiate a game with you. I think if you can open those doors of communication and the dog feels like they can bring their toy to you to say, come on now, you can absolutely say, oh, do you know what, pal? Why not? Let's play the game. Other times they can bring their toy to you and you can just say, no, I'm sorry, I'm busy. And they need to be able to accept that and go and lie down or do an independent play or whatever. we've got to watch that we don't get sucked into the trap of it's actually always the dog doing it, because sometimes we can make the dogs quite repetitive with that, and that's not healthy. But equally, you know, there's nothing wrong if you're going, do you know what, I fancy playing with my dog, I'm going to get this toy out and we're going to have a game. Obviously, don't pick time that, like, don't go waking your dog up to go and do it. But I think it's absolutely fine for that, and it's absolutely fine for either party to say that I'm done. So for the dog, because I find this is the one, I see this, you know, my favourite, the ball chuckers, where, you know, they're not throwing a ball with any purpose. They're just trying to obviously just tire the dog out.
Tire them out, yeah.
And then what you see is the dog wanders off with the ball or doesn't bring the ball back very quickly. But there's human, it's like, bring it back, come on, Colin, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. And they're constantly like heckling the dog. And the dog's actually going, I'm tired now. I just want to carry the ball, or I just want to lie down, and the human's not respecting the dog, going, I've had enough, thanks. And that's the same if the humans went, no, we're not playing right now, and the dog was to keep throwing the toy back in your lap or at your feet, and you're like, no, we're done. So it does work both ways. So I think if you watch your dog, if you see that your dog's getting more tired, if you see that your dog's getting more frantic, that can be a sign that actually the dog's getting to that tired and wired part, and actually start listening to your dog and letting them stop the game, like take the toy away, trophy it. Obviously, it depends on the type of toy and if the type of dog you have, whether they'll destroy it, for example. But so I think it's absolutely fine for both parties at different times to be the ones to start to finish things. What was the third bit? The third question.
It was just about how long you should be playing.
Oh, right, yeah, that goes just. I would honestly,
just the same, really.
It's just the same. It's watching the dog's arousal levels, because, as I say, I got mauled within, if we did games over 5 seconds, like Eric would literally get himself up to such high dough and get so giddy, he'd let go of the toy, and he was just like some little Raj Piranha, like biting up my arm, and it was just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So if it's a new dog or a puppy, you're probably just going to have to
short and sweet.
Yeah,
and I think
just see, like, you know, you might go too far, but then you would know next time.
Well, exactly, learn your lesson, eh? But I also feel that playing with toys continually, so in the context of either sort of playing fetch or chasing or tugging or like anything like that, I think, depending on the dog, so say it's an adult dog who's got a good play style and can take breaks, I really wouldn't be doing that for more than 10, 15 minutes at a time, because it's a bit of a workout. Like, you should be a little bit out of breath playing, I always feel. Like, you should feel that you've had a game with them. And then your dog's going to be tired, because your dog's doing the grabbing, tugging, potentially chasing it. Then they haven't used their brain at the same time. So if people are saying, oh yeah, I have half-hour play sessions with my dog, I'm thinking, I don't know how much your dog's getting out of that when you're doing it as long as half an hour.
Yeah.
So maybe, 10 minutes, and then you have a little break. You can do it later on that day. You could give them a 10, 15-minute break and then go back at it. But it's never that long a time, which again is the whole, you shouldn't have to feel like no, I have to do it. Aye.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Fine. So what kind of toys should we be getting then?
I would go with long toys. I would go with toys that are labelled like interactive dog toys, in the sense that they're interacting with us with it. So toys that are usually made of things like fur, fleece. They maybe have like a rubber ball at the end of them, or things like that, different textures in them. You tend to, these kind of manufacturers of these toys, they haven't massively hit the in-shop market.
Yeah.
They always seem to keep themselves like online, or you'll find them at dog shows or like at agility shows. You'll find them these kind of places. You won't find them in the big supermarkets and stuff like that. But if that's where you're looking, then you think, oh, I'll buy this like small stuffy toy and think, oh, my dog will play with that, but actually probably won't. Like, some of my toys are like 3 foot long.
Yeah.
And they're a mixture of like fur and fleece. And they've got like bungee handles on them and, you know, things like that. So, I mean, I like companies like Tug Enough are one of my favourite. I also like Touch and Go. Big shout out to our friend Jodie, the Fraggies. She makes lovely toys. We've got some of them as well.
We love Jodie's toys.
And
but you're right though, because then like your pets at home and that, it's really just like stuffed toys.
Stuffed toys. So like, because you've got to think, what is the dog happy putting their mouth on for an extended period of time whilst you're tugging?
Yeah.
So when we choose toys, because I get it, toys are expensive. Like a dog like Eric, he just destroys things. As I stuttered through that, it was just like he will annihilate a toy in seconds. So I don't particularly want to pay £10 for a cute stuffy thing.
He's giving you the evil eye, by the way, for talking about him.
He is actually. He's sitting over in the corner, guys, and he's like, she's shaming me about my toy annihilating skills. But so I would be loath to buy a toy and leave it lying with him, because I know that tenner is going to last like 5 seconds with him and it's dead.
He's like that cartoon of the dog who's like, oh, I spent all day figuring out why my toy was squeaking.
Oh yeah,
it's all like ripped apart.
Yeah,
and then he's like, because there was a squeaking in it.
Yeah, he has that time. He's just like an absolute nightmare. So I get why then we get attracted to toys that are indestructible. So hard rubber, really solid knotted ropes and things like that. But if you then try and use those types of toys to have an actual game of tug and do your dance with, no, your dog doesn't want to hold on to it. It's uncomfortable. Nah.
Yeah.
So then you get rejected essentially, because you'll be like, yeah, come and play. And your dog's like, fucking not, that's sore in my mouth. And so then you go, oh, well, my dog doesn't want to play that game with me, so I'll just not bother. Whereas if you bought one of those types of toys, and we'll put the link in the notes, where we get those, where you can get those toys, these toys, you will actually start to get proper enjoyment and the dog playing with you. But this being said, because I realise I've just quoted £10 for a toy that like Eric would annihilate. These types of toys are a lot more than £10. But they're meant as interactive toys. Like I wouldn't. So I will let the dogs trophy and take the toy. However, the toy is always like given back to me and I put it away.
I was going to ask that. So it's not like a toy box?
No, there's not a toy box one. No. Because they're, I'm not paying that kind of money for toys to be destroyed. Because Eric can destroy those toys really quickly. However, if
I know we had to hide all of
his
toys today.
Yeah, because Eric would be horrible. He's a bit guardy. He's a bit, he doesn't, he's no rules of etiquette, as Eric.
Because he'd want to take the squeakers out.
He would, everything is just his. He's just like, it's all mine then. Poor Blue would be looking, going, that was mine. And Eric will be like,
used to be mine.
Yeah, exactly. Eric would be like, not anymore. I'll fight you for it. So no, we had to hide all of that. But yes, it depends on your dog. I mean, if you have a dog who doesn't destroy things, then those toys, you could leave lying about. But they are not indestructible. They are meant for interaction. So you do put them away, but you don't have to like always win. Sort of put them away type stuff. Hi, Nev.
Yeah. And you can do your retrade as well.
Yep, you can do trade.
So your dog's getting a nice wee snacky.
Yep, you can teach them to drop and things like that. So no, I honestly think toys are underutilized, shall we say. I think in how fulfilling dogs can find it, how it can increase the bond with you. I think a lot of people miss a trick.
Yeah. So it's worth putting in the effort, even though it's not an effort.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I think if you have a dog from a young age and you are playing with them and that becomes like normal, accessible thing, it isn't hard work. I think it's different when you adopt a dog and that dog hasn't had access to these things yes, then it can seem a bit hard work.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think it's really fulfilling once you see them enjoying toys and things like that. I think it's good.
Good. Well,
Hi.
I'm glad we cleared that up. Hi, Neville.
I know Neville's like, I just thought I'd come and say hi, be part of the conversation. Eh? Oh man, he loves toys as well.
Good.
He loves toys. So yeah, I think moral of the story: make time to play with your dog at least every day, but then also work it into being used as actual rewards for tasks that you're asking for your training.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Perfect.
Grand.
Great.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
That was us.
Bye.
Bye for now.